Awesome, so I have learned so much from this course. I'm very excited to do this. And probably the hack that I'm most excited about, or I feel will be most useful, would be the one about student completion. So you can see here, this is my quote summer class. I kind of already did something with safety in a previous assignment, so I'm going to use this Introduction to Chemistry and Independent Study Unit as my example. So I think it would be very good to have my students be able to sort of dive into the unit at their pace, but I also want to be able to control or help guide them to what pieces they're seeing when. And the idea behind this unit is an independent study unit where we'll be doing labs for a couple weeks in class, and while we're doing labs in class, their assignments in the evening will be the content that is connected to those labs. So several things need to be done here, but just into this skill, I wanted to show you what I have gotten done. So I'm going to click on this, and right now you can see up here it says Safety Must Complete. There's nothing here because I have not set up what the pace of the student is going to be. So I'll click on the folder, and then here I can go to Options and Student Completion, which will set that up that they must complete. And in this case, I would like them to complete it in sequential order. So I'm going to save my changes. Oh, let's see. I'm going to add a requirement that I want them to look at the directions. They must view the directions. Then they must do the scientific method and complete that. And then they must complete the properties of matter. Once I save that, okay, what you can do is I can show you what that would look like from the student view. So let me go over. I also learned how to do this. I want to view the course from a student's point of view. So now if I go into materials, you can see that I go here, because I set it up in sequential order, this is not a hot link. They can't get into these two until they've read the directions. So that's a nice feature to be able to sort of make sure that they're reading the directions or looking at something specific before you go on, or have them go on. Okay, let me get back as a student. And so now I'm going to go ahead, now that I've set that up, I'm going to go ahead and go in specific into this folder. And there are some things in this folder that I want to set up as student completion. So I'm going to go to Options, Student Completion. I'm going to have them finish in sequential order. That's not super important to me. I could leave that off. But this way it kind of opens things up as they finish stuff. That way they're not trying to jump to the quiz before they're studying. So this first thing here is an Edpuzzle video, and I want them to make a submission. I actually went in as a student and watched that. It was pretty cool. I'm not sure how that's going to look 100% with kids yet, but we'll figure that out once I try it. They'll be my test dummies, so to speak. And then I'm going to have them, this one, they're just going to watch this video. I didn't make it an assignment. It's not an Edpuzzle. It's just a video to watch to help with notes. I'm going to add some more requirements here. This is a Edpuzzle, which this time yes, hypothesis. I should label this as, this is going to be some videos here and some other items that they're going to look at. And if you notice, it gives you all of it, so be careful. What I just did a moment ago while I paused is that when I originally had this, I got confused, but I forgot you got to click on this to see that. So be sure that you're doing that intensive, extensive. They must view that item. There's a discussion. What I love about this is that I can either just say they have to view the discussion or they must comment or reply, which will be part of my directions in there. So that's pretty cool for discussion, that feature. And then the quiz at the end, I also thought this was pretty fun. We can do any of these items, and I'm going to say they must score a certain score, and I've already kind of figured out what I want it to be. You know, this is supposed to be sort of a form of assessment, so I want them to get in the high 80s, low 90 range before going on. Save those changes, and then I will show you what that looks like from the student's view. Thanks, Kristen, by the way, for being my student. I appreciate it. So that is how you do student completion. Another great thing is you can see student progress. so I can see each kiddo, and you'd have a drop-down menu if you had more kids. I only have Kristen in my class right now. But you can see what they're doing, how much they finished, and whatnot. So I think this is a very useful tool for a teacher to be able to roll out a unit as he or she sees fit. It also would allow, as I'm hoping this will do, as an independent unit, allow for my students to get in, attack the unit, and do it in the way I would want them to do it, but yet do it at their pace so they can finish when they want, as they need to. Thank you very much, and I've learned a lot from this class. Can't wait to see how much more I learn going forward and how much of this I get to implement. Have a great rest of your summer.